there's always so much more I want to do. The head is such a rich landscape for energy work. You know, this work of energy medicine yoga derived from one of the main sources is Donna Eden from her Eden Energy Medicine. And she teaches a lot of this work not on a mat, not in a yoga practice, just that you would work one-on-one with a practitioner and they would share these techniques with you and you would do them anywhere at any time. So these energy medicine techniques are incredibly potent. We've found that when we put them with a yoga practice, the potency of them increases even more, because then now we're starting to open up space in the body and move the body in very particular yogic ways that really speak to these energy flows. But that said, doing these energy techniques on their own is incredibly potent, especially some of these head holds. So this one right here, and I'm going to show you another one on Friday, but this one is such an incredible hold for releasing stress. And I use this all the time. And you're going to see, once you know that and recognize that, you're going to start to see it everywhere, in movies and TV shows, on the news, on, you know, anytime something happens and someone's stressed out or, oh, wow, I can't believe I just did that. It's a natural thing that we do. And it really, it activates some very powerful flows of energy in the skull, in the head, that keep you from going into a full-blown stress response. And so all of these things and there are holds on the head, and I didn't explain what each of the holds was for, but each of them helps to metabolize different emotional experiences and different emotional energies that we have. And so, yes, you can do all of these techniques, even some of the ones that start to get more yogic, like the arms behind the head and you know, cascading overhead. I mean, you can be in the grocery store in line and put your carry bag down and stretch out your shoulders. And I mean, I do this kind of stuff all the time wherever I am. I'll do that crossover pattern, or I'll hold, or I'll do this one. I'll even do the crazy, I'll do that one. You know, and oftentimes I'll definitely get some people looking at me a little sideways, but oftentimes I'll also get people to say, "What are you doing?" And I'll say, you know, I was just so stressed. I have, you know, a meeting in 10 minutes and I have to wait through this line because I need to bring this to the meeting and I'm a little stressed out. So I was trying to de-stress. And then we get a teachable moment and a moment of communion with somebody else. And so I encourage you to do these practices wherever you are.
Can I share some imagery that I use when you do this head thing?
Yes.
You know, I'm familiar with Donna's work on this, and over time, what I found myself doing is sort of putting out an intention, a prayer, that as I do this, I'm sort of asking for wisdom, intuition, right action, and as I move my hands here, I imagine that I'm just creating some space in my brain for insight and for wisdom and for guidance and intuition. Anyway, I've really enjoyed using that imagery and sort of inviting divine inspiration in.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Mm-hmm. That really is, you know, there's so many things happening with those movements. One of them is purely physiological, right? Where we're opening space in the suture lines of the skull that we were previously taught solidified and meshed as we aged, and that once we were in our early 20s, that was just solid, and the skull is a solid piece and it doesn't move. But we know now that that's not true, that these little suture lines actually move quite a lot and breathe, and that the more that they move, the more freedom we have in the skull. So physiologically, what we're doing is opening up space in the skull. But energetically, you absolutely got it. What we're doing there is opening up space in the energies that speak to the brain, that bring in the intuition And some of we didn't touch everything in the head, but when we're coming here, we're opening up areas of the third eye that really speak directly into the intuition. And then when we're going up into the top, we're opening up into the crown chakra, which is our connection to the divine. So we're really drawing down divine inspiration into our own intuition. And so that's so beautiful. You really embodied exactly the energy movements of that. And I love that. That's so sweet and wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. And that's really, so we've got these suture lines that go across here, but then we have this suture line, it kind of goes ear to ear, which is why we hook in this way and pull down and pull back. And for many years, I didn't realize that we had this cross brain suture lines, cross skull suture line. I thought, oh, we just have this one here. And we've actually got other ones as well. But this line that goes across the skull that we can pull forward and back, this crown pull is really good for headaches. But if you get a lot of headaches, that might not be enough. And this one I have found to be so powerful. And you can even do it this way. I like to hook both hands and just pull it down, and I'm actually pulling against my head as I pull the fingers forward. And that's a really great one for opening up. You kind of want to like crack the skull open, not literally, but that figuratively, like think outside the box, right? It's like, think outside the skull, think outside the limitations that we've had before. So I love that. I'm going to start to use that as well, Beth. Thank you. Ah, beautiful.